All right, test. Look like we got the video going. Give me a second. I'm having some stream issues with YouTube, but I think we're good. I think the schedule's just off by an hour. How you guys doing? Mally's got his Rivian R2 on the spot. Or got his spot ready. All right, man, we're good. We're going live. I'm not going to be playing music this time, so if you want to know, I'm listening to Body of Light right now, but I got some weird copyright strikes on the last bit of stuff, so I set up all these clips and everything else, and they get destroyed. But welcome to the weekly Whale Watch. This is your dude Runner. We're gonna do our Thursday stream, looking at stocks, market, crypto, all that types of stuff. But as a reminder, this is not financial advice. This is clearly an art stream, and a vibe coding set. This is an hour-long vibe coding session. Keep that in mind. But with that being said, I'm glad you guys are here. Glad you guys are making it. Gonna have a hell of a time. So streams up, chats up. We're not dropping frames. Things are looking good. All right. So, and at any point you have any questions about what's going on, why this stuff's all rainbow, go check us out at rainbowtrends.com, and you can go find out all about this stuff. I'm about to start updating the webpage on the front end. I'm almost done with the tutorials. And to shout out to all the new subscribers, if you guys are here and you're having a hard time starting out, always check out our tutorials page. And I've got almost all of these figured out, all of these updated with tons and tons of data. If when in doubt, though, hit us up in the Discord, or shoot me a DM anytime. I answer all questions, so have fun with that. Unless it's IRS, we have to talk on a different channel. But yeah, we've got everything. I've got screenshots and everything. I'm almost done with the machine learning reversion bands one, and that's one of the hardest ones. But I've got the videos up, all that types of stuff, and all the real alpha how to use these tools, because they're a bit hard to pick up at first. So, but the data's there and the back testing's there. And we've been around for 5 years now. I don't even know how long it's been, so it's legit. But anyway, as a reminder though, yeah, it's all there, and I'm gonna try to integrate it on the webpage. And if any of you guys are GUI experience, I'm thinking about updating some of this stuff so it pushes more onto the tutorials, because I don't think everybody's clicking that tutorials link and going here, and this is where the big deep dive is. But anyway, moving on. Glad you guys are here. Let's move forward. Let me see. Moving on. So, bad news. It looks like we had one of our own take his life. So, shout out Maine for a few reasons, but this one is actually touching some good stuff. Long story short, never kill yourself. If you're here, you're in one of the craziest things there is in the world, taking trading seriously, let alone crypto market, which is really, really hard. But yeah, I remember the days where I didn't trade and didn't deal with crypto and stuff, and I was much poorer and much happier. You've got ups and downs with this stuff, so just whatever. If you need someone to talk to, hit me up. I'm always available for the most part. I don't sleep that too much, but shout out Trader Main for that one. And also shout out on the big news with Trader Main's Kraken stuff. I think I've got a slide for that. If not, I'll circle back to it. But dude's built some stuff, did it well, and Kraken paid attention. But with that being said, I also wanted to show you guys this, and I forgot to put a thing. I had some stuff after work today that took up a bunch of time, and then one of my kiddos wanted to go ride bikes right before the stream, so I had to go do some biking. He had a flat tire. It was fun, but we got him back. He's back going now, and that's give me 1 second. We'll get this going. Yeah, there it is. So check this out. I'm very excited, proud to announce we are live on YouTube, as with the tag on the bottom, but we are almost to 500 subscribers. And I can tell you this, it is easier to onboard people onto Rainbow Trends on a crazy idea of how to trade charts than it is to get a YouTube channel to grow. It's absolutely insane. This was barely 200 at the beginning of the year. My goal was to hit 500 by the end of the year, and we're almost there, so I'm very excited. So if you guys can, like, comment, subscribe, blow up the YouTube algos. It helps as always. And shout out to the dudes on Twitter. We're streaming on Twitter as well, even though it's only kind of half works. But back to the comments. Trader Man was saying, like, never kill yourself. Talk to people. It's never a way out. And what you do to your families who get left behind is just the worst. One of my people I grew up with, father figure to my dad, or side father, was my dad. One of my father's best friends passed away earlier this year. Took his own life, and watching what that family's going through right now is just absolutely mental. But the one thing I do want to get you guys ahead of, we're going through some very stressful times, pumps and dumps, rugs, everything else you can name it. Justin Suntron throwing down on World Liberty Fi, whatever. But this is something that I saw that was really cool. Salsa Tequila brought up, and Salsa's one of those OGs that I love him to death. I think he's hilarious. And when he's in his element, he does some cool stuff, but he's a funny dude. He's pretty cool. But they're talking about building a stack and losing a stack, right? And one of the things here that they were really talking about, he's given a confession. He said he actually had $10 million at peak 2021. Then he paid more than half to the IRS, or not IRS, he's in Europe, half to taxes and professional fees. So it got down to $5 million. He got hit by the 2022 bear market with the remaining things. By 2022, he had about $800,000 left. After a series of bad mistakes and holding spot all the way down. So you're going to have some heartstrings hit you pretty hard pretty soon. Not pretty soon, but if this 4-year cycle hits, that bear market's somewhere on the horizon. And is what it is. But just hang in there, guys. Just think forward. Don't watch something disappear that hard and then not be mentally prepared for it. But changing the tones. We're here for you guys. Glad you're here. I've got to show you something. This has never, ever been documented. It's been known that this happens, but they've never filmed it. It is one of the most hardcore things I've ever seen filmed. They actually filmed a sperm whale coming up to surface, eating a giant squid hanging out of its mouth. Like, for the longest time, they had never had photos of a giant squid. Just a few, like, occasionally a recovered, like, dead body. This one's kind of... Well, it's dead, but it's fresh dead. To sound like a bait shop selling old shrimp, but this was cool. Imagine, like, if this was me, like, filming this. Well, first off, I would be screaming because there's a 100-foot-long animal right in front of my camera. But secondly, I'd be screaming with enjoyment because this is so cool. So cool. And, like, secondly, like, squid are ridiculously fast and badass and all this other stuff. I can't fathom how a whale can catch these things. Unless they intentionally fight each other, but I don't think there's no way a squid would think a whale is food. Like, it's so much bigger. But it's pretty cool. Had to show it. Has nothing to do with trading, or that we could say this is liquidity-based. So, anyway, moving on. A big theme this week that has been affecting a lot of stuff is quarterly results on a bunch of our stuff. And lo and behold, American Eagle beat. They did really, really good with their quarterly earnings and full send. So simple, losing the wokeness, going a different route, going kind of back to their roots. Market likes that. We saw the whole thing with Cracker Barrel. And at this point, to be honest, with the Cracker Barrel remake, I think some companies may actually start trying to do, like, put a CEO in position with the agreement that, like, hey, man, you're going to go woke this real quick, mess it all up, and then we're going to go back to the OG, and then we're going to have stocks sending. I don't even know if I've ever seen Cracker Barrel mentioned online. And for the past 2 weeks, I've seen nothing but it. And even the President Trump is tweeting about it. So the White House is even posting about it. So it's just a thought. Maybe we should redo all the logos and stuff. Rainbow Trends go real weird with it and then try to bring it back. But, I mean, frankly, like, you look at a McDonald's nowadays. It's not that they went woke or anything, but, like, it looks like a freaking tech office building. Man, back in the years ago, man, they had all the play places, and it was branded like a, burger circus place. It was cool and fun. Now it's like creepily futuristic, and half the time you're ordering from a tablet. So I don't know. We'll see how stuff goes. Old timey themed stuff, Cracker Barrel, whatever. I mean, Jeans Company. I don't know. It's not like you can push that stuff too far. But speaking of quarterly reports, we are proud to announce Friendtech has released their quarter 2 earnings. Friendtech had $9 of revenue for Q2 2025. And I assure you, this is not an asterisk that this means 9 million or 9,000 or 900. They really, it's $9 of earnings. Oh man, they had it, they lost it. And it just sucks. I had so much fun with Friendtech. I was sad, but it's is what it is. It's not the best. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's just funny to me, but the fact that they actually put $9 is just amazing. At least like rounded up to 10, but I guess that's fraud. You'd be over-reporting your earnings. But yeah, how far have we fallen? It is a top 4,682 market cap coin. And just, this is just insane. At its peak, it was over $2. And it was genuinely a lot of fun. It was like tokenizing, rooting for your friends. Now, it's just kind of interesting because I'm not crazy about the way Base is doing socials with like making market caps out of people, or posts. It's kind of weird, but anyway, moving on. Now, while Friendtech didn't do hot, Pump kind of had its own thing. Hype is still tended to do pretty well. I will say this. This caught me off guard this week, so if you guys can see what this is. Pump did more revenue than Hyperliquid did in the past 24 hours this week, in a day earlier this week. I know it was today or yesterday. I don't know how that's possible because I thought Pump was going to be dying, but I figured this would be a good time to show both of them because normally I don't post these charts. But let's take a look at Hype. Legit, this coin has a use case, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Hype actually seems pretty awesome. Now, if I will say the caveat here is I'm going to kill these RSI prints. It's in the custom clouds tool. You can turn off the RSI bots right there. It's really not a bot. It's just kind of a signal, but damn, is it a good signal. Anyway, I digress. This is amazing looking from its bottom to its top. It's trading at like $45. Wow. These are crazy numbers, but on the daily is where I kind of wanted to show you guys this. So you can actually see this move here, Hype bottom wick to top wick, was a 432% run. This has legit been one of the only projects like this year, last year that I've seen actually show up and print more than like 3 months. A lot of stuff is like shown up, done some work, and then disappeared. Like AI agents were only for like 5 weeks. Some of the meme coin stuff didn't last. Pick your poison. But this one is what I wanted to say is on a high time frame scale, the colors are fading and it's kind of rolling out. It's not something I would call a BART. It's not a sharp upside. It's gradual run. It didn't go. It went pretty crazy. It actually did print some machine learning bands here and did some white RSIs. But what you're seeing here is the drive cooling off. So either it's time to go up for a next leg, or it's going to be like a gradual fade and probably bleed out. I wouldn't call that, but it's just a bleed where it just kind of goes, where the whales slowly offload. But Hype is doing that sideways action, what I'm talking about, and Pump is in full-blown recovery mode. So we're looking at daily candles here. So you're catching kind of the more macro look at it. But then when you go to Pump, I switched over to H4 so you guys can see this, but printing an H4 bottom right around 31. We're all the way back up to 43. What's up, Sean? Sean, Sean brings up the point. Yo, bro, YouTube told me you weren't starting for another hour. I set the alert today at noon. I scheduled it. I said 8 p.m. and I didn't have an option to set my time zone. And then it said 9 hours out for the stream. And I was like, oh, crud, I need to go set it an hour forward to correct that. But lo and behold, I get home and all the times are right. So I apologize, Sean. But thanks for calling in. Welcome to the hotline. That would be kind of wild, but I can guarantee if I did open mic calls here, we would quickly get banned. But moving on. TradingView, by the way, I don't have a TradingView link or anything like that. I'm not an affiliate with them. Oddly enough, I'm somewhat affiliate with TrendSpider. But I wanted to bring this up. That's a pretty good sale, 70%. Once a year, I resub up on TradingView. I actually have to manage 2 of the higher end accounts just to keep the Discord and everything else running. But long story short, you don't get this high of a level off many times a year. So if you want to legit save 70%, go do it. I recommend it. Same thing, like we don't, well, Rainbow Trees doesn't do sales, but if you lock in the yearly, that's where the discounts are. For TradingView, it's the same thing. I go buy a year of this and you get the biggest discount. So this kind of hit markets this week, and it we'll go to the picture that's making me laugh. The U.S. now has more unemployed people than job openings for the first time since April 2021, which is interesting. Now, why is that happening? I don't really know, especially considering I don't know if it's the overall population of the United States, but the deportation numbers are the highest ever. I don't know about the overall population of the United States, which is roughly like 340 million people, but the overall people coming into the country is negative for the first time. It's decreasing since like something like 80 years or something like that. But so definitely less people available in the workforce. I would imagine that's outrunning maybe natural growth, but jobs are getting a little weird. So now with that being said, people are screaming to cut rates, and then someone took the old Jerome Powell and hard hat and added the McDonald's logo, and I just freaking love it. So I want to show that to you guys because that's I love it. So put the fries in the bag. So anyway, what's up, Fletch? How are you, dude? Yeah, Mally's right. It's normally in the fall when I sign up, which is we're getting into fall, but it is around Thanksgiving that TradingView does their crazy sale. But looking at the financial numbers, we had a little bit of spook in the market in relationship to that. A little bit of shakeout. Every single news article we get that makes it sound like Jerome's going to do some additional rate cuts just moons everything. So is what it is. I hate talks of rate cuts and all that, but eventually it's going to be coming. We talked for the longest time, just people get over sensations about this because they've been betting that a rate cut's coming every single FOMC, and lo and behold, we've been sitting for a while. But had some pretty good pullbacks. We're starting to get more pullbacks than thought, but shout out to the Mally Pivot 9 right there. I actually tagged and bumped back up. But today we closed we had a rough start, and we actually closed into the end of the day almost at an all-time high print. So it's actually pretty interesting to see that. Maybe we might get a new all-time high tomorrow. We will see. There's a lot of chaos going on, man. Like my entire feed was full of nothing but Chinese military parades and everything else. So we'll see. Everything's going swell. Tariffs are going great, right? Peace in the Ukraine war's been delivered, right? Is that what we were promised? That's what I want. But I digress. Dow Jones Industrial, just taking a little look here. Nothing screaming at me, guys, other than we are at all-time highs, and it's just going to be fun. Gold's in particular is screaming. I think I have a slide for this later. Yeah, I do. I'll leave it like that. But we'll see. Now, Tether still printing, still burring, throwing money on the fire. They're printing 2 billion at a time. I'm getting numb to this at this point, but it's quite interesting. Why is it quite interesting? We normally don't print that much money during bear markets, but I digress. We'll see. Now, speaking of the Chinese military parade, it's been a pretty crazy spectacle. As far as military parades go, it's been insane. I got to say, the Chinese march very well. What do I know about marching? Absolutely nothing, but I do watch parades, and it's pretty crazy. But it's been a fun thing to watch. It's been triggering the White House pretty bad. They've been tweeting a lot about this, especially about Putin being there. But what's crazy, though, this actually, I don't know how to... This is past my normal streaming capabilities, but apparently in a hot mic conversation between President Xi and Russia's Vladimir Putin, which is obviously going to be through translators getting hot mic'd, but they can be heard discussing human organ transplants and the possibility of living to 150 years or even forever while walking towards Tiananmen Square. And that's a thought. There's always these I don't even want to go into some of the conspiracy theories, but this was a headline I didn't see coming. So how do you trade that? I don't know. How do we go long to a transplant? I don't know. It's kind of scary to think about. Now, going on to more serious FUD-based stuff. It's looking like Gainsey rugged his own project. And claimed that he misclicked. If you guys don't know, I don't have the chart on here, but it went to like 0 and then bounced. But they did quickly make 400K or maybe more. Point what I'm doing is transitioning you guys into just... It's really gambling, messing with this type of stuff. All of these things get rugged for the most part. And here we go. There's another one that Mr. Inverse Bra, the Frodo Frog, looks like Cook Capital launched a token on Pump Fund and completely rugged it in just a few minutes. They didn't even make it an hour. 20. So, how poor can you be rugging your followers? 800K in volume. This is what's crazy. Apparently he did this. This is a person with over 140,000 followers. I don't know about you, but you can make a ton of money with a 6-figure crypto Twitter account, let alone like the paycheck you get from crypto Twitter for all the engagement and stuff. But to actually do this is nuts. I've been asked a few times to build like a Rainbow Trends token, and I'm just like, it's obviously Zcash, but I just don't want anything to do with this. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. Let me know in the chat. It's I don't know. But yeah, just be careful. Most of the stuff on Pump, not super bullish. My Melania tokens went to 0. My Trump tokens aren't doing so hot. My World Liberty Finance tokens aren't doing great either. So is my hamster racing tokens. So just be chill. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of rugs, Ethereum Foundation is announcing that they're going to sell 10,000 Ethereum on centralized exchanges as part of their ongoing work for R&D, research and development. So, oh man, I'm really tired of this now. Ethereum Foundation is getting dwarfed. They're only about 200. They only have like 250,000 ETH left. Now, I think there's a mechanism where they earn fees, so that number can grow, but they've been bleeding out for quite a while because they keep selling. The meme is true, but Tom Lee is his foundation is just dwarfing Ethereum right now. They hold the most Ethereum out of anybody that's like publicly acknowledged, and they're slowly becoming irrelevant. And I hope that's the case. We wanted to see Grayscale become irrelevant on the Bitcoin, and that's kind of what we're seeing on. Well, what we're hoping to see. I think this is playing out. Mim says, "You want to rug some people, or do you want to, or they want the people to rug you?" True. So taking a look at Ethereum, Ethereum has been Chop City since it just wicked the all-time high twice. And lo and behold, we saw another whatchamacallit, sorry, I'm adjusting the chat slightly so you guys can see the text a little better. Can you guys even read that on the bottom right? I'm trying to make it take up too much of the screen, but anyway, this wick sucked. This baited a lot of people, and I got super excited. 2021 all-time high, tapped, reclaimed, but weaker candle, didn't hold it, and it was very, very brief. Almost got to $5,000 and went straight back down. But we've been going sideways, and to be frank, it hasn't been that bad. We're still 4,400, which is this thing was under 2,000 a few months ago, so keep that in mind. I'm not super bearish on those numbers. Frankly, I'm pretty impressed, to be honest with you, but it's not giving up the ghost yet, and I think it's an unpopular opinion. I think we're staging for a slow move back up to retest this stuff, so we'll see. Let me know what your thoughts are. Now, we're talking Ethereum. Bitcoin's close to an all-time high. Almost there. Ethereum's wicking all-time highs, but it's grinding off to the side. The one thing that's not is gold. Gold is full friggin' send. I had it and I don't have it anymore. I thought I had it bookmarked. Now that I remember, I don't think I bookmarked it, but I wanted to show you this at least. Gold ETF tons held versus gold price. Since the bull run started 2 years ago, the gold holdings are flat. So the gold ETFs, the prices and numbers are going up, but the actual holdings of the ETFs, like physical holdings of gold, is like flatlined, not doing much. So it's actually pretty interesting that it's going down. It's not really following this one-to-one. I thought it would be. You see how the Bitcoin ETFs get trued up every day during trading days, weekdays. You don't see that on this, so it's kind of interesting to me, and I'm wanting to see what it is. But the one thing I forgot to mark, and I was going to show you guys, it was the amount of tons of gold that that China has been accumulating gold, and it's freaking vertical. They are storming up so much of it. And speaking of that, give me 1 second. I want to show you guys something I tagged. Since we're talking gold assets and stores of value, I wanted to show you this because I tagged 9K on it and I meant to bookmark it. Like I said, guys, I've had a crazy day today. I'm very sorry. Where is it? Hold on. Here it is. All right, so it's real fun. Every time I do that, I drop live concurrent viewers. So sorry about that, dudes. In case you thought they were joking, the Swiss National Bank reserves are composed of at least 90 billion CHF worth of Pokemon cards. I repeat, the Swiss National Bank are using Pokemon cards as reserves. Not gold reserves, Pokemon cards. This is amazing. A Swiss National Bank, which is holding Pokemon cards. I don't know where to go with that. Other than welcome to the professional stream. It's the blue color. That's dark, that's light. It's that one. That's their Pokemon card holdings. So maybe they're going to be maybe the Swiss National Banks are going to be trying to get an offer on my Janet Yellen card, the highest graded Janet Yellen card to date. We'll see. But gold continues to be nonstop bid. This run is not over, in my opinion. But at the same time, I'm scared to touch it. Maybe you guys are hitting this thing hard. I don't know. It feels wrong to be longing something that's been stagnant for so long. But I don't think we're done yet. I don't think we're done anytime soon. But at the same time, silver's not doing crazy things yet, so maybe there's a lagging play, but it's not like we're going to be making money on silver, right? I used to think the same thing about gold, but here we are. But moving on. Glad you're here. But moving back to the digital world, albeit most people trade gold in a digital world. They say invest in real assets, and then they get an email stating they own 10 ounces of gold. So have fun with that. You're not taking physical gold bars, so chill out. Now, Coinbase. Coinbase is going to be offering traditional equities futures, with their first product being a Mag 7 and a cryptos equities index. Coinbase is growing. Coinbase is offering things, and we're going to start seeing equities and stocks available in the crypto format. So it's going to be kind of interesting. I'm excited to see what this does. And I'm excited to see what the volumes look like versus what TradeFi exchanges actually show on this, to be honest with you. So we'll see. But moving on. Coinbase again. They just leveled up, and their perpetual futures are no longer capped at 20x. They're going to 50x. And I know what you're thinking, runner. This has got an FTX vibe to it. Now it does, doesn't it? We're laying the groundwork for the craziness of an all-time high mega pump with a bunch of scamming and exits and everything else, right? We're laying the groundwork with Coinbase. And how you ask yourself, how is Coinbase implementing all of these equity trades, Mag 7 stuff, 50x leverage? How are they doing it? They're vibe coding. Armstrong earlier this week announced 40% of Coinbase is coded by AI. And they have it, their goal, to make vibe coding over 50% of the product. So he goes, obviously it needs to be reviewed and understood, I am shell-shocked that Coinbase, which is notorious for having coding issues on an exchange, is stating that they are currently 40% vibe coded and are trying to get it over 50. So I'm, how do I say this? I'm scared about it, but I look forward to more of my personal information getting leaked quicker and faster. So we'll see. There was so much backlash on this, and Inverse Bros probably got 10 retweets and screenshots of all this stuff in the replies, because this is nuts. Also, a CEO aiming to have coding more AI based. That's something you would do behind closed doors and not openly brag about it, because this implies you're going to be laying off a bunch of your developers. So I'm not so big on that. He's been busy too. This is only from April. I kind of want to overlay this pullback over charts, because this is real steady. Then there's a correction in July. I don't know. We need to I need to check this data versus when there was ChatGPT outages. I need to check it. Also the 5.0 rollout. Oh, fuck's sakes. Anyway, moving on. Coinbase is looking at the chart. Let's check it out, Armstrong. Let's vibe code this. So this is when everyone told me to buy Coinbase 364. I've been out for a while. I'm not really looking at getting it back in, especially when I see stuff like this on higher time frames like dailies bleeding out. I'm looking for something painful. Maybe you could argue this is wedging, but it's doing something. I'm just not super bullish on this. I'm not crazy about the product like I used to be. So Kraken's doing a lot of cool things, and I'm also obviously a Kraken affiliate, but it's just they keep doing this weird social stuff. They don't understand their user base, which is a shame because they have the funds and the capability to quickly bring that gap in. But they just do some of the wildest stuff over and over and over. So, but anyway, if Coinbase is going to do their stuff, let's see if we can get some sanity. And I'm proud to announce that Gavin Newsom is going to be launching a crypto meme coin. So, I don't know. I will say this though, just this dude looks like he's straight out of Gotham. It's creepy. He doesn't even have to cosplay. He just looks like he's straight out of a Batman movie. But I don't know. Maybe the Millennia token was, yeah, maybe Gavin just screws it up so bad a rug it actually goes up instead of down. I don't know. What's up, J Riz? Second week back. No, man, we're talking about important things like Gavin Newsom doing a meme coin. I don't know. Watch him launch it on Cardano smart contracts. That would be just like creme de la creme. But moving on, World Liberty Financial. This was the one that hit a big news flag this week. They started doing a proposal to use 100% of their fees to start buying back their own token to essentially burn it. That's fun. But the big news that hit, if you guys don't remember, Justin Sunstrong made a deal with the Trump administration and they became buddy-buddy, and Tron had a really nice pump over that. Then he went to space, and then Justin, I don't know what exactly triggered this, but World Liberty Financial blacklisted Justin Sun's contract or his addresses, locking $540 million in unlocked tokens and $2.4 billion unlocked tokens and $2.4 billion in locked tokens, to say that they believe an exchange has been using tokens to sell and push down the price on chain. If you look at World Liberty Financial launch, it looks like a absolute burning dumpster fire. This thing was opened up over $1 and it's now 18 cents. Now, I know this is just exchanges coming online, so really only count it like here, but that's still like 28 cents. We're down to 18. I'm on 15-minute candles here, dudes. It's nuts. Let me see if I can get the volume. Yeah, volume's not crazy, but some dudes started posting this in the Discord, and I was like, man, I don't want to play with it because it showed up so high in the coin market caps. It was in the top, I think, 20 at one point. Let me know in the chat. I don't remember what the numbers were, but World Liberty Financial is not looking great here. Needless to say, I don't think it's got much of a use case unless you need this to do deals with the Trump administration. But by then, you could also say I'm stacking Millennia tokens. So I don't know, but every time you feel some FOMO, even if you are going to do some FOMO, I would recommend just if you were going to throw $1,000 at World Liberty Financial, maybe just throw $500 and throw $500 at spot Bitcoin and throw away the key in a cold wallet. Would just be a recommendation of mine, because this is turning up into a straight up rug, and man, I just don't think messing with Justin Sun is a good idea. That's a Titan you don't want to play with. I say Titan. This dude's been around, done a lot of stuff, hadn't ended up in jail. So shout out Justin. And he's like the only crypto CEO who's been to space. So there's that. Now, another thing. Shout out Zach XBT. I'm going to say it right now. Covering. So, this was amazing. A price sheet was leaked from a project that was using paying people on crypto Twitter to promote their stuff. And I know you guys have seen it. You randomly, all these like 6-figure follower accounts or people that have like over 50,000 followers, out of nowhere, like 5 of them on your feed will start randomly talking about some altcoin you've never heard of, and they're all talking about it at the same time out of nowhere. It's kind of weird, right? It just is. And it's like, well, they're probably getting paid, but they should be doing like hashtag ad, that type of stuff. I wanted to show you this because I read through this. Most of these people I don't recognize, but I just wanted to show you like how far this stuff goes because, dude, I'm a small account. I've got like 7,000 subs or something. They're followers. Like it's nothing. 9, 10 of them are probably bots. So I got like the 12 OGs in the chat right now, which I love more than all those others. So love you, dudes. But check this out because these are crazy. Let me open it up in a new thing. Hold on one second. Let me switch it up to a zoomed in screen. We are good. Here it is. All right. So somebody apparently got hashtag a titty, got 60. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. They were paid $60,000 to post about this. And I also love the fact that they have a tier level. So here's all the tier levels. These are like 6-figure accounts. They're getting paid like $5,000 per tweet, which is insane. One dude got $60,000. Tier 3, these guys got paid $1,500. Maybe they got paid twice, or that was $1,500 for 2 tweets. I'm not really sure, but go check out some of these dudes because this is a lot of accounts on crypto Twitter, and the only one I really recognized was Ted Pillows. He follows me for some reason. He got paid $9,000. Over 1K dash price per one post. 22K package deals. See third party. Huh. What's up, Ryan? Do you guys recognize these? I mean, maybe it's fortunate that I don't fuck with people that are sell out like this, but crypto bullying. But shout out the higher tier accounts that I'm friends with are not on there. It's weird though to me. Like you'll find these like crypto Twitter accounts that have like 200,000 followers, and you're like, I've never heard of this person in my entire life. And you'll have a fellow follower who's like John Cena. But $1,200 for a video. Deviled Megs, DMT Land, Drillo, Jet X. I don't know these people. Sexy Mitchell. I feel like I should know Sexy Mitchell. Ola Crypto, Derugger, Perp. He did $650 for 2. God, would you? $500 is not enough to get shown up on a Zach XBT thread. To date, I've never made a dollar on a deal. All my deals are for free. I take that back. I got an NFT panda. So I do have a panda that I was given for the Campai thing, but I'm not. It's sitting in a wallet. I haven't sold it. Who's gonna? Well, I could sell it, but that's my panda. It's custom. But even down here, there's dudes that are taking $50 to do tweets, which is just kind of crazy. Something to think about, but just goes back to the thing, man. Don't get burned out trying to chase all these like big accounts. A lot of them they're big for a reason, and it's not the reason you want. So moving on. Shout out Zach XBT. So Blunts has done another squiggly line. Or no, he's not got a squiggly line, but he's hoping the monthly bear div. It's not what that is. But let me see what he actually said. Cut a few positions. Lost it. Was low key hoping this monthly bear div on people was not going to eventuate. I don't know that word. Oh well. But shout out Blunts. But the big thing is, I love that our beloved friend Doc Schultz is putting in the work here. And he's saying, hey, man, could you please do me a solid and draw a squiggly line in the downward direction? Because he's implying that the Elliott waves that have been pointing up are actually being counter-traded. So if we get a squiggly down on Bitcoin, maybe we can save it. Now, with that being said, on a more serious note, Carpe Noctem with a Rivian PFP, much love. These are just the funnest thing. I think it's the dumbest thing possible, and I love stuff like that. So Josh is one of the most serious traders I know that I trust the most, and he's got a Rivian PFP. If you haven't noticed, I've got one too. Shout out Jintao, who's been doing all of that type of stuff. I'll show you real quick. Well, that didn't work. I can't see my own profile, but yeah, I've got one here. Fuzzy, with fuzzy hair. I couldn't get the Pit Vipers on, but Jintao made me one with Pit Vipers, but just the vibe wasn't there. But anyway, bearish TK cross on the daily. I don't do clouds too much, but the one cloud time frame I really, really do like is the daily. I also like when I hear cloud stuff from this guy. He's the GOAT of OGTA for me. I highly recommend you follow this dude and subscribe. I'm subscribed to him on YouTube. How much is it? Dude's awesome. $3 a month. He's got a pretty cool YouTube that's he does like videos and stuff just for the subscribers. It's like $1 or $2 a month. That's cool. But it's a concern because we are seeing the fade in the trend. And you can see where we had the bearish TK crosses here as well, back on the all-time highs. Previously we were like 98, so is it reset time? I don't think so. It's something to note, but the time frames here and the volatilities are different. So that TK cross that he was showing earlier, not to argue with Josh, just we look at stuff differently. We all do, but I'm not a strict Ichimoku dude, if it isn't already obvious. But this drive here, before we had the TK cross that majorly pulled back down to this reset, down to like 74K, which really sucked. Really sucked. We're talking 110K down to 74K. We thought everyone was talking bear market over, right? Wasn't stuttering. That's what it was really like. People were losing their damn minds. So the thing I wanted to note here, look at the colors and look how harder this pumped. This was also right before the inauguration. Purple candles on the daily, cyan candles with a 3 drive here and a rotation here. Go look at the old 3 drive Crypto Zen tutorials that we have on the YouTube. It's really good. But 3 drives here on the colors, and the colors faded and rotated out, and we were also hitting this reversion band. That's key. Right now, we're printing all-time highs on the daily, and we're just on basic candles. And a reminder, if you want to increase your settings, by all means, bros. Pull these back some. I really like the exponential one, but just cook these back a little bit. Let that reset there, and we can start seeing the colors. Usually 2 is pretty good. A lot of people like a lot of volatility, and they'll really crank these up. I say volatility. They just want to see colors because they bitch about that they don't see colors. I'm like, well, it's not. If we're chopping sideways, you're not going to see colors. That's just the reality of it. So, but you can crank it up, and you want to get a little to see a little more on the actual time frame you're on. Just when you crank these up to see pinks, be prepared, because when real pinks print, you need to be ready. You can really just increase these. And if it ever looks like it's not doing anything, it's usually trading view lag. Adjust these numbers and then go look over here for that little spinny wheel on the eye. Wait for that to stop, and then you get the real numbers. So you can see now that I've increased the gains, this is just straight up pinks, which is still pretty accurate for this, but just got to be careful with it because you can go, like I said, you could just go way too high. Just do like -50, 598. You don't want charts to look like that. That's not going to help you, albeit I have had some rainbow trend traders who do that for some reason, which to each their own. If they're profitable, don't listen to me. Use my tools however you want. I don't care. I do care, but the point is like, I'm not going to argue with you. If you're making money, go do your thing. Now, where we're at with it. Bearish TK cross is bearish. Shocker, right? Welcome to the stream. The thing is, we started kind of channel walking, and I was watching it. I didn't really post charts on this, but I've I usually want longer time frames to channel walk, but it was a bit too clean, so I started drawing this up, and this was into the order block that we had before. So my thought is we'll channel walk into this order block. Let me draw it like that so it's a little cleaner. And hopefully we'll bounce out of it. And it's looking like we did. And it's looking like we're doing the traditional channel, get out of it, coming back and re-kissing. We see this all the time where they channel walk, and then they break out of it, come down, and then they retest the upper line of the channel walker, right? It's looking like that's actually playing out. Now, tomorrow's Friday, and then we're going to go into the weekend, and I don't expect this to super pump in the weekend, but who knows? We have seen it before, albeit we tend to close those gaparinos back, but we'll see. I say we'll see. What I'm saying is, man, this is actually a really good spot to where you can get some exposure here and tight stop loss. We're talking about like, hey, we're back in the channel at like 2% low, and we're looking at an upward target of reclaiming the all-time high of like 10. So you're looking at a risk reward of over 5. Not a bad idea. Not a terrible idea. Now, moving forward, talking about whales, talking about trading. This has been interesting. The White Whale posted this. He's apparently going back and forth over locked, claimed stolen funds, and Mexi is accusing him of cheating and doing all this crazy stuff. It's worth a read and go take a look at it, The White Whale. And what Mexi is officially saying is like, hey, come meet us face to face, bro, which is real weird. Which goes back to my biggest recommendation. Don't put big money on funds overseas. Do it in somewhere where you actually have local jurisdiction and can go sue their butts. Be careful with that, right? That's why I recommend, if you're North America, hit up a North American exchange. I like Kraken. You guys check them out. I'm a big fan of them. If you guys want, you can actually also get 10% off your Rainbow Trends for life. If you sign up with them and shoot us an email contest to let us know you signed up, we'll check it, and then we can apply the coupon on the back end. So, to be honest, I preferred Coinbase 3 years ago, and I've had a lot of issues. And then I went to Kraken. I didn't like the Kraken experience at first, but they kept just improving everything, and the fees were lower. The uptimes were better. And then when I started re-implementing some of the Tetranode bots back onto the exchanges, the Kraken ones kept working better, and the APIs kept working easier. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go apply for the affiliate and be done. Because back to that Zach XBT thing, every other day, some BS exchange tries to make me an affiliate for them, and I turn them all down. So, Kraken all the way, bros. Anyway, moving on to some exciting news. Tony Ferguson won his first fight in what I think seven fights. He had his first boxing fight and beat a YouTuber or a TikToker, and now I can tell you, Tony Ferguson, 0 boxing losses. Canelo is 2 losses. 4 losses, 2 losses. We're talking about one of the all-time greats here. So shout out Tony Ferguson. Glad you did it. And the jokes have just been amazing. I'm going to tell my kids this is Canelo Alvarez. If you guys actually notice, he rolled up and was doing training in his old UFC shorts and stuff for Reebok prior to the Venom. I think it's Venom is the new one. But anyway. Another thing, moving on. Tony Ferguson won a fight, and apparently Pengu is now doing... I say Pengu. Punji Penguins, which is the Pengu token, they are on NASCAR, which I thought the Kraken on the Formula 1 cars was cool. Putting NFTs on NASCAR is a bit weird for me. Albeit I'm not crazy about NASCAR. To be honest, the only thing I really like is hockey, motocross a lot, and then UFC, like MMA fighting. Those are really the only things I watch, and usually I don't watch the hockey. So anyway, that looks like a fun time. I forgot what the dude's was with the glasses. He's always mouthing off. But take a look at the Pengu chart. This looks a lot like the hype chart to me. Does it look like that to you? It's lower time frames, but it's the same chart to me. Giant run. Now it's bleeding and it's resetting. This is where the big whales have to get into their next position before we have a move up or a move down. So Be chill. Have fun with it. Now, this is the thing, though. You have to decide. Are we going to do memes this season? Thank you, Sean. I'll talk to you later, dude. Much love. Are we doing memes? That's what I really want to know. Because I'm losing eyesight on the alt seasons, I think, on the timelines-wise. I think we could maybe only have like a month to 2 months left in this bull market, which means we've got like maybe half a day to do an alt season. But frankly, do you want to say that's an alt run and call it a day? Do you? It's 1,000% run. People want more, and they want SHIB numbers and stuff like that. OG stuff. But man, we just aren't seeing it. Now, speaking of meme coins, Clean Core Solutions stock immediately dropped 59% on the news that it became the first Dogecoin treasury company. Why? Why do this? Why? Let me check. What's the ticker? Clean Core? Clean Core Solutions. Yeah. Oh boy. That's impressive. I don't know if I've seen a pink to white gap like that. Am I still on the higher? No, that's the OG tunings with an RSI. RSI top signal on the bottom candle because that was the first candle that printed without an RSI print. That's amazing. So they're buying the dip. I mean, maybe you can trade this stuff. I just don't want anything to do with Doge. I don't think it's going to $1, but maybe it is. It's at 21 cents now. But frankly, I'm just not crazy about this stuff. We got to only 48 cents here, but this is nothing. That's nowhere near the Valhalla targets we were talking about. But maybe in the next 2 months maybe the cycle's gonna do a ripper in Q4. This thing hits $1 and I'm wrong. And we have to delete all these tweets, all these posts. But to keep it simple, bring it home. Things to avoid in crypto, selling the dip. Hope that helps. Binance, on the other hand, BNB is all-time high trading. And it's looking like, hey, man, you actually got a Wyckoff chart here of reaccumulation printing out. To me, Pingu and stuff like that, they don't look set up like this. They actually look like a rotation that's fading weakness. This looks like a reset up, and now we are for sure. We were talking back here, hey, is this really an SOS and it's about to go, or LPS and it's actually about to go? It's actually looking like that's it, and it's going to be going into price discovery. So we could be looking at, when I say price discovery, up and up and up and up and up. I'm not talking about a God candle here. I'm talking about just walking, just tagging resistance, walking her up, tagging resistance, walking her up. That's what we want. We want steady runs. When you have big blowouts here, when I say blowouts, you start slamming pink candles above the reversion bands on a major top 10 asset. At a minimum, it's going to go sideways. At a more likelihood, it's going to pull back pretty hard or straight down. So you got to be really careful when you have that much momentum because the whales can't push it that far, that long. They just can't. And mind you, Binance trades really, really weird to me because this one's heavily stacked in Binance's actual coffers. The same thing, XRP moves kind of weird to me. But moving on. Shout out Gentile. If you don't do this, dude, he just recently joined the Discord. You need to follow him because it's funny. But he's coming out and he's leaving the paper trail for when this turns into a legit SEC investigation. But he's saying, with all due respect, this is the most FS stock on the market. Crypto boys cannot influence a $17 billion stock the same way they can a $10,000 pump fund shitcoin. So I promptly came in and said, Gentile's laying down the paper trail for when we get questioned by the SEC next year. And he's like, And I had to remind him, it's not a lie, if you believe it. If you guys don't know, George Costanza is one of my favorite characters of all time. And there's a Seinfeld quote for every situation, even in 2025. But with Rivian, with Gentile, we have to look at the Rivian charts. And we want to scare... Now, last time I showed this, Gentile actually saw it live on stream. If you use Rainbow Trends Pay attention to the daily time frame on Rivian. This hit rate is absolutely insane. The hit rate on the top calls on Rivian is up there with like the Tesla top calls on the H4. I don't know why it likes the higher time frame, but for whatever reason, these whales move in sync with the Rainbow Trends suite on the daily. So it kind of sucks trading something so volatile on the daily. And you don't get the bottom prints on this, except I will say when that HMA crosses, very, very nice. Also, when you get it in the reversion bands, very, very nice. These are big moves. That move right there is 100% move. This move here, kind of yin to yang, that's like 36%. This one was 42%. With all that being said, I think we're setting up to break the wedge, which is bullish. And we are going to manipulate because we've been talking about this for months. And I swear Nexus has been talking about this for 2 damn years. There you go. Even there's another top call on the daily. Boom. We actually got an RSI bottom there. But it's looking like we're trying to beat this downtrend, which we've had a downtrend since August of 2022. Rivian survived. Now, Rivian has layoffs coming, so they're going to reduce head counts, but that tends to be bullish in the market as of late. So hope that helps. But this is another thing where I teach people how to use the runner bot. Look at it on multi-time frames. So on the daily, we have a killer top signal. Take a look at, let's try 12, well, not 24. Let's look at 12 hour. 12 hour, we got a bottom print here, which is actually really interesting if that's the micro bottom and it called it at 13. But let's look at the lower time frames. Not 6 hours. For TradeFi, I want to do 4, not 5, sorry. I have all these settings so I can backtest tools and try to break stuff before Fletch does. So at 4 hours, we're starting to get some better prints, more active prints here. But for the most part, look for these bottom prints and the RSI bottom prints stacked inside the reversion band. And that tends to be where this thing pops. And then once you get into position, you can switch over to daily and chill out until you get a runner bot top here or tag the reversion bands on the other side. This thing moves like Zcash, just real slow because it's TradeFi. And it only trades on weekdays. So bang here, hit the other side. Bang here, hit the other side. Almost through there, hit the other side. It keeps doing this over and over and over. The reversion bands, you smack into one side, you've got a really good chance of smacking the other. And if you get ahead of this, like our Tesla trade from a few months back, that's a lot to play with. That's 129% on a liquid asset over a few months, right? Now, you're not going to get 129% here, but you can go get a chunk of this. You've got candle color rotations here, white candles to yellows, another drive down. The second drive is weaker. You have the HMA karate chopping through this. RSI prints dying off, pulling up out of the reversion bands. You got a lot of stuff, and you can layer it in, and you can stop loss yourself, get your entry in somewhere where it looks nice. And then even then, even if you're late to the party, like you have a chance to get a chunk of this. Like I said, you're not going to get all of it. Like if you just want to do a late entry, just tag the bands, it's still 30% move you could have got out of 130. So you have to be patient and wait for these, but they do show up. Going to Tesla, moving on to Tesla. If you have questions, blow it up in the chats. Tesla is the same thing. Tesla, when it bangs out these bottoms, it is good. It's just you have to wait for it because it can bleed for a while into these reversion bands, but check it out. Shout out Mally Prints. Multiple bleed outs, multiple RSI prints, RSI bottom here, multiple retests of these Mally Prints, tags in the reversion bands, HMA karate chop. Do I sound like a broken record? What this is what whales do, how they swim in and out of markets. This is how they come in, blow everything out, start scooping it back up, and then they slingshot it to the other side. This is the yin-yang style of trading like rainbows and stuff. And I realized I should have used the hashtag for the stream or the title, like Rainbows and Rivians. Be perfect, right? But that's how this stuff works, man. You have to watch this stuff. It's too hot, they can't sustain it, it bleeds down. They bleed down too hard, it rotates back up. That's what they want to happen. They want you to buy this, sell here, while they scoop it up and shoot it up to the other side. And this doesn't look this impressive, right? This reaction here, this huge bleed out, the HMA, all this stuff, right? Check it out. bottom to bottom, we are talking about a battlefield of 70% here. 69%, 69.44. We could price 4.2. Nope. Almost got the 420. Now, you're not going to catch the wick, like I said, but what I'm saying is there's 70% move here on something you can get liquidity on, you can get options, all this other stuff. You can get just a little chunk and be super, super conservative just to get to the other side. And that's like 32% you could have got. Even if you just want to be like, get to the mid-range, you're still talking like 16%. And you can play this stuff while crypto market's just dying. Like, just keep that in mind. You can trade both sides, TradeFi and this. Now, looking forward, hey, Runner, are you interested in Tesla? Not super much, but originally, I was looking at this. I was like, okay, it's coming to a wedge. It's a pennant. We'll see if we have the type of reaction we want to see. And we proceeded to walk right through it and didn't really do anything. So I'm like, okay, this is not the wedge, but we do have a trend line that keeps getting hit. This one, it still is holding really well. Now I'm extending that because I just don't know what this is going to happen. This may... I don't want to say this is channel walking, especially since it's at such a low angle, but this is definitely hopscotching and doing higher low, higher low, higher low. Right? I have to kind of pay attention to this and see. I really want volatility, so maybe this thing is maybe switching to a channel walk that looks like this. But I don't see it yet to feel that yet. So I don't want to show you guys that and like preach that. I'm showing you now, but I'm not thinking it. But I'm suspecting it. You have to be suspecting this stuff and then see if it materializes, then lock in, right? But maybe we get a bunch of taps on this trend line and it pukes and resets. Then I'm a buyer. But until then, we're going to focus on the art stream. So, got any questions? Let me know. You got anything in particular you want me to cover or a ticker? Let me know. Top fans, top chat. You guys are awesome. But moving on. Like you said, I thought this was hilarious, and I wish I had the. I wish I had the this other tweet. But basically, they didn't see Trump for 3 days, and then they started spreading legit rumors that he was dead. I say legit rumors, kind of somewhat serious toned rumors that he was dead. And then JD Vance even like started posting that he's ready to step in the event. I'm like, you're just kind of fueling the conspiracy theories. But the funniest thing, if you guys haven't seen it, they asked Trump at a press conference if he had heard about him being the rumors that he was dead. So the guy they're talking to is just sitting there talking about, yeah, I heard I was dead, but sorry, it's not happening. Anyway, it was fun. But speaking of Trump token, how could they have done this? How could you have done this? I'm starting to think it's not going to be moon only, boys. This looks awful. If it was a Rivian chart, I would get long, but my vibes and mood are getting into this one. This is when they announced Trump tokens were... You were going to... I think it was you get to meet him, or it was... There was some benefit that they were going to give you access to... to like the top 100 holders or something like that. And a chance to have dinner with him as well. Which would be a riot. Imagine how much fun that would be. But it's just been bleeding ever since. I don't really have a read on this. Not something I want to trade either, but we'll see. So Malifester posted up, says, I suspect Rivian is going my throwover test H4, the pink to white on 30 minutes is tagging my fed. So I'm interested in this local low. Yeah. We'll cover that in the Rainbow Trend Discord. But we're hitting up on the hour mark, guys. So I was going to say, much love. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for the guys who pushed us to almost 500 subs. We're going to go head to the Rainbow Trends Discord now. Come show us your charts. Come ask us questions. You're having trouble, new users, trade the tools. Let us know. We're here to help. So we'll see you guys there. Give me like 5 minutes. I'm going to go grab a drink, and then I'll be in the Discord. But thanks again. And if you need a Discord link, it's always on the main website on the top banner. Talk to you guys later. Bye.